Well, I'm getting back on it today here, finally, after all this other stuff I got going on. But on this swale, and I did the same thing on the other one, but I did a little bit different. This swale, I brought a pallet down here, and I cut the sod out and flipped them upside down and stacked them on here like bricks. Well, now they've dried out. It's the 11th of June, and so what I'm doing is I'm putting them on my dolly, and I'm taking them around, and my first thing I'm going to do is build this bottom edge with the sod upside down. That'll help hold it in place. And then what I have left, I'm going to finish the top part of the downhill side of the swale, which once again, a swale is a ditch on contour, or it could be slightly graded if you're going to a pond or another source of water, either as an overflow catch or to take water to a pond. But in this case, these are just swales to catch, slow down, and let the water soak into the land to improve the efficiency of the soil during periods of dry and or wet, so it doesn't all just run off, and it'll slow it down and makes my property a little more drought resistant. This is the second swale I've done. It's 30 feet long. I dug it by hand, or 28 feet actually to be exact, and while we're at it. So anyhow, now here's the other one. Now I'm not done. I'm going to put a mixture of berries and fruit trees and nitrogen fixers on here. By luck, some of my property, because in my soil I already have some of these things, I've got clover coming up here. I mean, this isn't quite the way Geoff Lawton and these other folks would do it, but it works. It's probably not quite as fast. I planted some calendula, valerian. I've got some different, I think that's I forget what that is. It'll come back to me, but I got comfrey. This is a clumping type of mint, and of course the bees love these comfreys. And the lamb's quarter I'm going to let grow, but eventually in more calendula, which is a type of marigold, medicinally good. You get a big bee sting, put it on there, bug bite or something, takes the swelling and the pain right now. But I want that stuff to be kind of wild on the property. And it'll fade out. Permaculture systems change constantly as they mature. Now you can maintain them at a certain level. Once they get there, then you maintain them. These oaks are going to go. My septic system is over there. And they're not like a willow, but still the roots could eventually get down there and mess up my septic system. So we want to get rid of them, but then when I do cut those down, their roots will be like a hugelkultur sort of a thing, because they'll be rotting in the ground and improve the fungal bacterial growth underground. But on these swales, which will be fenced in eventually with slots for the goats or lambs or whatever to stick through their heads through and eat some of the vegetation. They won't be able to eat it all, and I do mob grazing, so they'll stay in a lot for so many days and get them out. But this is what it looks like now with the vegetation that I've planted on here. Here's some, I don't know, oh, that looks like pigweed. And I like that amaranth because it's edible, first of all, for us. But if you go in a pasture, you're lucky to find amaranthus or lamb's quarter because they like it. It's a mild flavor, even for us. And goats, sheep, pigs, cows, whatever, will eat that stuff, and it'll be, it'll be part of the forage here. I'll have vertical forage as well as, I'm on a hill, but horizontal, if you know what I mean. But I'll fence it in so they can't compact this and get in here. All they'll be able to do is stick their head in and graze part of it. I'll be able to come in when I have my fruiting trees or bushes on here. I may put raspberries on this short one. This will make a nice raspberry patch up here. And so eventually they would crowd out the comfrey and some of the other stuff. But then I'd have red raspberries. Of course, the goats and lambs would get in and eat some of it, but they won't be able to get into the center. The fencing will be on the outside around this so that they can, like I said, eat the branches that grow through, but they won't be able to come in and damage the site. Plus, it'll give them shade. That's west. It'll give them shade in the evening, protection from the wind in the winter time, because it'll slow the wind down, and they can lay here, sun themselves in the morning, or go on that side in the shade if it's a hot morning, and all the way down through. And here's the next swale. There's going to be down, and you see the orange flags, maybe yellow flags. That's my next one. There'll be another one down, because when I'm done, this will all be lotted off into 8 cubes. But I have a gate down there. I'm probably going to change this down here, put another gate in here. I have 2 gates up, one there, and then a man gate up there by the goat mahal. The lambs like it too. So eventually there's going to be a building there. There'll be some swales up above there. One swale above that eventually, with crossings for lawnmower or vehicles or wheelbarrows or whatnot. And the same thing over on the outside of that fence. And there's my temporary pasture, because I can use my temporary fencing. And that's hazels and stuff. I'm going to leave the good ones in place, but I'll build swales over there. So right now I'm starting off doing it by hand, so I have a more intimate knowledge of it. But eventually I want to use a machine. It's a lot easier. And what I discovered with this soil also is, as you'll see, the ditch is not that deep. And the reason for that is, as I observed on the first ditch, which is deeper, even with all the rain we had this spring, my water level didn't even get close to the grass line on the downhill side. So I'm not going to dig them as deep up here. Now maybe, as I observe changes, because this is going to take a process, I'm doing it in stages, as the lower swales start holding water longer, those might have to be a little bit deeper. But I have riddle sandy loam. It drains really well. So I may not have to have deep swales here, like 2.5 or 2 feet deep. They don't, or half a meter. They probably won't need to be that deep for me to get the benefit. And besides that, I don't want them super big, because I don't, as you can tell, I don't have a huge pasture here. So I got to make it fit, but it'll still be lotted off, still gated, be able to move the animals, and that's how it's going to go. So anyway, that's this fill in on this part of the project. I'll catch you later, eventually, with another update.